Hey everybody, I'm Nathan. Every week I do comic book reviews because that's the rule around my house. If I want to keep buying them, I gotta review them. So this review is going to be for Wolverine number 15 by Jason Aaron, and this one is drawn by Goran Suzuka with Matthew Wilson on color art. So I think this is a brand new artist to this book. I haven't seen his stuff before, and it was definitely a little bit rough in a few places. This story comes right after the big reveal of Jason Aaron's long run with the Mongrels and the Red Right Hand, which was the second part to Wolverine Goes to Hell. This is kind of a prologue or epilogue, whatever, after the fact, to that previous story, how Wolverine is starting to deal with the fact that he did what he did in the previous one. I don't know if you guys read that or not, but it's really worth reading. I'd hate to spoil that for you, just getting the results here. But anyway, there's a lot of interesting aspects to this story, but it really felt like it was so short. I don't know if it's like the addition of the 9/11 reprint stories that are in the back of these books, that are like the last 5 or 6 pages, that make us feel like a decent sized comic, and then you get to what feels like almost halfway, and that's the end of the actual story. Now I counted the pages, and it's actually still 20 drawn pages, which I believe is what they were trying to do. I know that DC went to 20 pages in an effort to keep their costs at $2.99. This one was still $3.99 and only 20 pages instead of 22 or whatever. But it's still, all the stories this week are really, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are feeling like they're a lot shorter than they really should be. But anyway, and then that's another interesting thing that I didn't note before. So he's kind of, the idea is that he doesn't want to be Wolverine anymore because he's so broken up about what happened. And then he's in the Alps kind of throwing himself off of a mountain over and over and over so that he can get a couple of seconds of total blackness when he's almost dead before he comes back. This is kind of an interesting testament to the artist here, that the wolves, which would be up in the mountains that find his blood-stained clothing, all kind of look like pit bull dogs there with many varying colors. I don't think there are wild pit bulls up in the mountains in Canada as far as I know, but I was under the impression that these were wolves, but maybe they're just wild dogs or wild pets here. Another part of this story that I didn't love was all of Wolverine's kind of alleged family, including Dakin and Dakin and Dog, which is his alleged brother, and his father, who he met in hell, and then there's Sabretooth's head on a stick, all kind of show up and haunt him a little bit. And it's just in his mind, thank goodness. But I was seeing Dog show up here, and this is the first time that I know that he's ever really admitted to being his brother or half-brother or whatever, and showing up back in his life. And I was like, man, why use up like every single aspect of Wolverine's mysterious history, mysterious past, to tell, you know, this short range of stories? This is only 15 issues in here, and we've really covered a lot of Wolverine's history. Yes, there's some interesting stuff there, but it feels like every time we're dealing with something that had happened and is solid, we get another wrench thrown into the mix, making it more complicated and difficult. So I didn't really love the art on this one, and it felt shorter than it really should have been, but I really liked a lot of the other aspects of the story, namely Wolverine dragging these bodies all over the nation back to where they need to be buried. And I really felt like we should have seen more of this kind of thing, where we saw who these mongrels really were, what their real names were, and where they kind of lived and stuff, because that's the interesting stuff to me. I'd like to see some backstory on these lame characters, anyway, that I described as lame throughout the entire story arc. In any case, it's really good. I'd still, despite the art, give it a 4 out of 5 because there's a few aspects in there that really push this story above and beyond what we've seen from Wolverine stories in the past, and it connects so well to the rest of the story that we just got here that you're really feeling what Wolverine's feeling as he's going through this terrible time in his life. Now, there was a scene with Melita. I don't know if you guys know about Melita, but I do not like her. It's Wolverine's current girlfriend who just happens to be around whenever that's convenient for the story, and for the most part isn't there. I thought for a second, oh, he's calling her, this is going to be interesting, she's going to have interesting things to say to him about the situation, or he's going to open up to her or something, and no, that's not what it is. It's just kind of a cameo appearance where they talk about the X-Men have been looking for him. And it also kind of puts a really weird thing for where this story falls into continuity. In this story, he talks about, Melita says, Cyclops is even looking for you, which could mean that they are still friends or not friends anymore, and it's amazing that he's still looking for you despite whatever happens in Schism. So it's hard to say when this is actually happening as far as everything else goes, but you kind of throw that out the window with these stories anyway. I tell you, these character-driven stories or team-driven stories that are being told inside the Marvel Universe but don't necessarily connect to the giganticness of everything else is going on are really the best of what Marvel's putting out right now. So if you're looking for good books that you'll enjoy from Marvel with your favorite lead characters, Wolverine's definitely one of them, and Daredevil is the other one. I almost said Deadpool. Daredevil's the other one that you really should try because they're really hitting them out of the park over and over and over. And I'm glad that the covers are continuing too, even though the big story arc just ended for this one too. So there you go. Wolverine number 15, 4 out of 5. And that's the end of the books for this week. I'm going to try to be doing retroactive all of the books from last week and the week before, either some tonight or tomorrow over the next weekend, try to get caught up. So stay tuned for more that are out there. If you're looking for any reviews of the stuff that's been out over the past week, just subscribe to my YouTube channel under Spidey207, or follow me on Twitter under Peteparker. There's also iFanboy, Comic Vine, Marvel and DC databases. All of those places I post these videos whenever I can. Although iFanboy, I'm having trouble putting these videos into them, so just keep an eye out. Look for Peteparker or Spidey207. That's the same person. That's me. In any case, thanks for listening, and I really appreciate all the feedback and comments you guys have been giving. And we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.